Hello, hello, dear beloveds. I am super excited to hang out with you today. It has been quite a momentous day in so many ways. Last night, I facilitated the Meet Your Inner Priestess Circle, which was the first one in several years, and it was a true delight. It was online, and it was just a beautiful, precious gift to spend time. There were 40 women who attended live, 100 who registered, and I'm hoping all of those women who couldn't attend live will be listening back at some point because it was so magical. And today is the last day of the Archetype Challenge in the I'm Spiritually Fierce group, and I've watched for the last 8 days the most incredible transformations occur with women who have been going deep into their relationship with either the leader, the mystic, or the priestess archetypes, and sharing their journey with us in the I'm Spiritually Fierce group. And I have just been awed and humbled. Tomorrow I'll be announcing the winners of all the incredible prizes that were up for grabs from me, but also from other women in the group, including one-on-one intuitive intelligence sessions and places on the initiate program valued at $500. Just going to shut the door because the dog came in, and if you've met my dog, you'll know he can push anything open. I'm going to shut the door now. Yes, I am. He'll be cranky about that. But anyway, so it all feels very, very special and quite amazing. And it just feels like the energy is really high and beautiful. And I am riding that wave. And today I deepened into that celebration and went and got myself some fresh ink. If you know me, you know I'm a tattooed lady. I got tattoos everywhere. I think my son counted them today, and I'm up to 9, which is really not that many in the scheme of things. If you are someone who likes getting tattooed, you'll know that it's not something that you can stop once you've started. So I'll do a tattoo reveal as well on this call. That's pretty exciting, but I won't do it straight away. I'll keep you watching for that. I did reveal a few days ago that this would be my new tattoo. And in fact, that's not what happened. As fate would have it, I met up with a friend last week, and she had a stunning tattoo that was a hand-drawn tattoo, free-drawn on the body by this amazing woman called Tessa Claire in Melbourne. And I fell in love, and it was like a holy hell yes. And I needed that on my body, and its significance has sort of deepened, or has deepened for me since seeing it on my friend Vanessa's body. And luckily Tessa Claire could fit me in today, and so I'll reveal that to you as well. If you're not into tattoos, you might still be into the beautiful artwork that she has created for me. So, and my husband, by the way, is not into tattoos. He's quite apathetic. When I let him know this morning that I'd be popping out to grab a tattoo, he's like, okay, no worries. And we had a little chat about where it might go, but that was about it. So what are we here for? We're not here for a tattoo reveal. That is just the extra special bonus that I'm excited about. We're here to continue to deepen into our understanding of the archetypes. So in the group for the last 8 days, we've been going on a journey of cultivating a deeper relationship with one of the 3 primary archetypes of the 3rd level program. So the 3rd level program is training to become a qualified intuitive guide. But the aspects or the archetypal qualities that are most dominant in the intuitive guide are the priestess, the mystic, and the leader. And so in this lead up to the interviews happening for the 3rd level program for the July intake, I'm spending a lot of time talking about these archetypes and how we can deepen our connection to them. And that's been the very point of the challenge in the I Am Spiritually Fierce group, is to give us all an opportunity to cultivate that relationship for ourselves. Some people will never go on the 3rd level journey. They may not be ready. They may not feel that it's right for them, but we can all have a deep, intimate relationship with these archetypes. And in fact, an archetype is simply an energetic pattern that repeats. And so today I'm going to tune into the archetype of the sacred leader for those women, and I've got your names here who nominated yourselves. Thank you for doing that, to offer some messages or shared information to these women. But who turns up as the sacred leader is unknown, because of course the idea of the archetype is to think beyond belief, to think beyond mythology, to think beyond religion, not to become overly attached to the idea of individual personalities, because the archetype as an energy pattern that repeats is simply a face of God or infinite consciousness. And that's exactly what we are. So we're moving beyond belief. We're overcoming separation by not tuning into, oh, today I'm going to channel Jesus or Mary. I might, but that's not the point. The point is that these are archetypal energies that repeat. So that which was in Jesus is in us. That which was in Mary is in us. So we're not attaching to this idea that they were special characters who, you know, had special magic powers, and we've been left here on the earth just to, you know, as muggles to figure it all out for ourselves. That is not the point of working with this archetypal energy and connecting with it. The point is for us to recognize, I am that. It is within me. So let's talk about the leader today, because she is obviously very dear to my heart. I identify as a sacred leader. In fact, I've just been putting together the content for a program for Insight Timer on sacred leadership. And I'm very excited about that, because it seems to be where my work is going more and more, is into this space. But the sacred leader is typified by the formula of humility, grace, and power. She leads not because she thinks that she has qualities that are greater than others. She leads because she knows the qualities she possesses are infinite consciousness qualities, and that her job is to draw those out of others. So she's been given this advantage of being able to see those qualities in herself, and some days it's easier than others, but her job is to draw those qualities out of others so they may see it within themselves. Not that she will stand in front of them and say, hey, I've got something you haven't got, but you know, you might get lucky. It is absolutely the opposite of that paradigm. It's to draw those qualities out of others, even when they're not aware that those qualities exist within them. So to quote Marianne Williamson, you know, the sacred leader is able to see God in the other even when they cannot see God in you. It's a true state of humility, of egolessness. And the calling to be in leadership is the opposite of egoic. But I want to talk today specifically about what I consider to be the biggest quality that the sacred leader needs to be able to embody. And it feels bigger and more important than all the other ways that I talk about the sacred leader, because without the presence of this quality, or the willingness to cultivate this quality, then we're not actually going to be able to make all the other things happen. Okay, so the card that I was holding in the picture promo for this live gives you a little bit of an idea, and the word that was on that card was risk. And what I believe to be essential to the sacred leader is their willingness to risk. And what are they risking? They're risking the human identified self. They're risking the ego identified vision of a good, well-lived life. They're risking the familiar and the safe and the normal. So in other words, the sacred leader is willing to be in the comfort zone. The sacred leader is willing to be beyond that comfortable edge that most of us sit at the comfortable edge, and especially, you know, most muggles who have not yet woken up sit right in the middle of their comfort zone, and they don't even know there is an edge, and they're not going near the edge. All they want is a bigger TV for their comfort zone. We as spiritual seekers are often on that edge of our, you know, the known and the unknown, and we sit there, and sometimes we're brave enough to lean forward a little into the unknown, and a lot of the time we're reeling back into the known. But the sacred leader is leaps right off that edge, right into the unknown, and is willing to risk everything that she knows and everything she believes to be true and everything that she's attached to in order to be part of birthing a new paradigm. And some days she understands why, and some days she doesn't have a freaking clue, but she knows that's where she's going. She knows she's in service of something greater than the ego identified idea of a well-lived life. And so she is rarely in a place of comfort. She's rarely in a place where she is being approved of or liked or patted on the back or being told she's doing a really good job. She is most often ahead of the pack. So there's no one around her saying, hey, well done, that's really good, walk the path I walked, because there's nobody to follow. The leader may be doing similar work to other people, but they're walking their own path. And so that word risk must become very comfortable to the sacred leader. The question is, what am I willing to risk in order to serve the awakening of all? You see the difference here. It's not about what will I get out of this. It's about what will I do? What will I be willing to risk in order to emancipate consciousness on behalf of the greater good? Carrie's just asked, can I ask if this is also part of a Jungian psychology? Yes, so archetype from a spiritual perspective is not a psychological idea. It is the idea of, I guess it's energy psychology, but the idea that as Jung speaks about, an archetype is a pattern that repeats, and all of these patterns exist in the collective unconscious, and they are all part of our collective identity. But that in this way of speaking about them, we're speaking about I guess, bringing forward qualities that exist dormant inside of us, because they are all there, and Jung would probably concur with that. And we can activate them by intentionally placing our focus upon them and drawing those qualities out of us. So my work definitely draws on Jung. It draws on Clarissa Pinkola Estes. It draws on Marianne Williamson. It draws on, lots of different teachers who've spoken about the nature of archetypes, but it's outside of a psychological model. And it's definitely well and truly inside of that kind of energetic paradigm, rather than the kind of matter-based 3D reality. But I think that's where Jung's work really did sit most of the time anyway. And the idea of the collective unconscious is very much aligned with the idea of that one mind that we speak about. I hope that's helpful, Carrie. You can ask me more questions. So the cultivation of risk. So if you are listening to this and you feel a bit uncomfortable, that's good. As I've been saying this again and again and again, I was initiated deeper into my relationship with Kali Ma when I was on retreat in Mama Bali a few weeks ago. And we came to the end of a kirtan, and we were doing the Gayatri mantra 108 times, but we're doing not the known version, but a longer, I think it's longer version, a very beautiful version. And I hadn't done it before. So I noticed that there was an energy in the space in the Shala with us, but I was too busy trying to get this right, this new version. I didn't pay much attention to it until we reached the end and we go into silence, into meditation. And there was the glorious Kali Ma, and she was in a very gentle face rather than the fierce Kali energy, for which I was grateful. I have met Kali on retreat in her fierce face, and she literally burnt down the building we were sleeping in. And I'm grateful for that too. But she came to me and she placed me in a ring of fire, and she said, this is, to burn away the ego, because the ego identified self is what keeps us away from our spiritual leader. Our spiritual leader must be the most forgiving, the most loving, compassionate person in the room. And we cannot be working from our ego identified pettiness if that is to be true. And that night I came out in a rash all over here and up my neck and down my arms. And it was actually this beautiful blessing of recognizing that I had been placed in Kali Ma's fire, and that the rash disappeared within a day or so of me arriving back in Australia. And it was, I didn't need to see a doctor. It didn't respond to antihistamines and didn't respond to creams. It was just the mark of the goddess, and I am deeply grateful for that. But the words that Kali Ma I was kind of connected to while we were on retreat, sorry, I'm wriggling in my chair a lot, was the idea that the sacred leader, or the leader, this goddess energy, which is quite often typified by Kali, and perhaps because we're speaking so much about her, that might give us a clue of who's coming next, is that I'm interested in your evolution, not your comfort. So if you are feeling discomfort and you're thinking, oh, well, but I want it all. I want to have all my comforts and my trinkets and my superstitions, and I want to have everybody in my life be happy and safe, then maybe this is not the path for you, because there is a chance that in being called to serve the greater good, to serve all of humanity, you will have to stop identifying with the 4 people that you've decided are worthy of your love, or the 10 people, or even the 100 people, and be willing to love all humanity as one consciousness, which is the consciousness of which you are a part. So it's not about whether your people get what they need. It's about the idea that you are here in service to something bigger than just the normal human expectation of a good, well-lived life. Does that make sense? I really, really hope it does, because to me it's a resounding holy hell yes. Again, I'm feeling that energy. I think we know who is coming. My life is in service to the greater good, and I have reached that moment before. It hasn't happened recently, but certainly a few years ago, where I felt I was being asked to give up the comforts of my domestic life, to walk away from my partner and my children, to serve in a really big way. And as soon as I got down on my knees and I said, yes, whatever you need, it is yours, take it, I surrender this to you, the need went away. So it was like the idea of Abraham being asked by God to sacrifice his only son. As soon as he was willing to do that and he placed his son upon the altar as a human sacrifice, God said, okay, we don't need you to do that now. And it's very often that we are asked to give up something that we're really, really attached to, that in our willingness to surrender it to God, the need to then give it up is gone. But when we are like clinging, oh, but all my happiness resides in this man loving me and I have to be a good wife, and that's what love is. I can't possibly be a spiritual leader. We're caught up in this idea of what we think our happiness is and the causes of our happiness are, and they rarely are what we think they are. Okay, so I have a beautiful list of women here. I'm going to see if I can get to all of you. I just wrote your names down in the order that you commented, and I'll respond with some information. But of course, regardless of whether I am speaking directly to you or not, if you are here listening now, whatever I share is for you. There are no accidents. You're catching me live for a very good reason, and I want you to know that this is always, if you're here and you're listening or you're watching back later, everything that I'm sharing for the individual is for you also. So don't tune out and think, oh, this is not for me. There's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. All right. Okay. So we're going to tune in, and I'm going to tune into the energy. I think you can all gather who we're tuning into. And I do this with great reverence to the Holy Mother Kali Ma, and I do not invoke her name casually or lightly. And I honor her power. And I bow in reverence to her power. And I acknowledge what a deep and great blessing it is to have her presence. To be intimate with the sacred leader in the form of Kali. Rachel, you are the first name on my list. These messages will be brief and they will repeat themselves ad nauseum, but they will be keys that unlock each and every one of you, for they are energetic signatures of the goddess, of the sacred leader in the form of Kali. Burn away the self-doubt, sister. Burn away the self-doubt. Now, my eyes might be opened or closed, even though I teach my students to have their eyes open, because I'm looking at myself and I find that really weird. So bear with me. And because we're moving through a lot of people on this list, I want to make sure that I get through everyone, and it might be more efficient with my eyes closed. Dear sister Rachel, please, please, please burn away the self-doubt. Whatever you need to do now, one final ritual, place it all in the fire and recognize that you are already doing the work cosmically. You are already in service in such a potent way. I want no more of the dabbling in the illusion of self-doubt. You are my sister. And so it is. Okay. Tanya. Go back to the original wound and heal it now. And all else will prevail from that point. Stop avoiding that original wound, that original moment of separation. Go back there now and forgive God for sending you onto an unkind earth, and change your perception of the events that have led you to this moment in your life. That original wound is the separation from me, from God, from infinite consciousness. All the other things have simply echoed that original wound. But go back there now and ask God to forgive you, and ask yourself to forgive God, and there you will heal, sister. Nowhere else. Stop treating the layers of illusion. And so it is. Okay. Gemma, sister. You are not of them, my sister. You are not of the dream. Go into the fire. Go into the fire now. When the fear rises, when the anxiety, when the pain, when the suffering, stand in it and let it burn away all of the unhealed parts of you. You are not the children of those who birthed you. You are my child. Stand in the fire now. Please stand in the fire. It is the medicine. And on the other side, you will be like the newborn babe, ready, innocent, unbreakable. And so it is. Karen. I've got two Karens here and I didn't write your surname, so we'll see who this one's for. This is Karen Buckland. And then it's my other Karen. This is pretty direct, my sister, but everyone who commented gave me permission to go direct. Get on with it. Get on with it now, sister. Get on with it. Another way we could say this with love is get over it now. Get on with it. Please stop believing that there is anything more to be healed, and train what is right and righteous within you in order to serve. Get on with it now, sister. It's time. It's overdue time. You were born ready. All right. Karen. There's just this empty, beautiful space around you, not empty of meaning, but empty of busyness and doing and drama and the dream. There's this beautiful opportunity for you now, sister, to sit in the void, to sit in the empty space, and to truly birth what your creation is in this lifetime, and to not imitate palely or to replicate in safety or to borrow other ideas, but to birth your own paradigm. This void that sits around you, don't cling to anything. Let everything go now. Let all ideas of self melt away, because what will emerge will amaze you. Whew, okay, we're doing it. We're doing so well. Okay. Renee, I don't know if everyone who commented is here or not, but I'm just going to work through my list because I want you all to receive, those who so fearlessly nominated yourselves, even though I warned you that it would be some energy fierce. She's Kali Ma today, though. She's fierce, but she's loving. She is the great mother in her guise today. And remember, we're communing with the sacred leader, and it's Kali who stepped forward today, but Kali could equally be representing any of the other archetypes. It's not a fixed idea of one guise, one archetype. That is not how we work. Energy is moving constantly. These are patterns that repeat. You are a mystical leader, a spiritual leader, not a muggle leader. And everything you have done now has prepared you for this truth. And now when you grace us and stand upon the stage of this truth, and you rally your crowd with the cries of your soul, of your mystic's heart, there you will see the impact that you know you are destined to create, the imprint upon the world that you are destined to make. That is the space that you occupy, and you are a leader in that paradigm like no other, dear one. Please go there fearlessly now. Don't hold back anymore. You will lose nothing, you will gain everything. Amen. Anna. As I said, I didn't include surnames here, which I should have done. My apologies. But if you nominated and your name is Anna, then this is for you. But as I said, this is all for you. For every single person who is here now with me, please hear these words as though they were handcrafted for you, because that is the truth. Submit to the truth of what you are. This is a strong word, but we mean it. Get down on your hands and knees and bow in reverence to the truth of what you are, and submit to it, as in give into it. Don't hold back from it. Very similarly to your sister Renee, I'm asking you to stop pseudoing things, to stop fauxing things. I hope these words mean something to you. To stop half being this and half being that, but be 100%. My child just came home. If there's noise in the background, please forgive me. To be 100% what you are. Submit to the truth of what you are. Submit to the truth of what you are now, dear one, and all of the treasures that within you will pour forth into the world in the way that you know is possible. Okay, beautiful. We're doing so well. Melissa. This cracking open, dear one, that is occurring right now, this cracking open is to be born again. And there's words coming from the great mystic Rumi that I'll share with you. To die in life is to become life. The wind stops skirting you and enters. All the roses suddenly are blooming in your skull. And I want you to hear this, that you are birthing yourself anew right now. You are cracking open, and everything will be before and after. And what comes after is your creation, because you have birthed it. You have birthed yourself. And so everything is preparing you for this return to your absolute innocence. You can carry nothing with you. You need to carry nothing with you other than what you desire to carry forth. And that is total freedom. To die in life is to become life. And this is what you are seeing in around you and also within you. And it is your creation now, dear one. And so it is. Lausanne. Everything that you have seen in your visions are truth. Everything that you have seen in your visions are truth. Will we need to say it one more time? Make whatever changes now. Excuse me, I can feel a sneeze coming on. Make whatever changes now are required with courage and fearlessness to be uncompromising in the pursuit of the visions that you have seen. And don't doubt them, don't question, don't ruminate, simply go there. I know you know what I mean. Anything that stands in between you and that, now burn it to the ground. Burn it all to the ground. Those doubts within you, but everything around you that is out of congruence with that truth. And so it is. Christina, and just in case you are listening, I have just been going through a list of people, if you've just joined us, who previously commented on my last post to say they would be willing to have to volunteer to hear from the great sacred leader at this time. But everything that I'm sharing is for all of you. So please don't worry if it doesn't have your name attached at the beginning. It is also for you, because you are not here by accident. You are hearing the words you need to hear, and that is how energy works. The universe has divinely conspired for you to be here. And also what's going to happen at the end is my new tattoo reveal. So please do stick around, because I got inked today and it feels deeply holy and sacred. All of my tattoos is holy and sacred, and I'm excited to share it with you. Okay, Christina. Yes, you can keep the lid on yourself, and yes, you will probably continue like the mouse on the wheel going round and round and round, or you can simply take the lid off now and see what will happen. You don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen, but I'm asking you to be willing to take the lid off yourself now and just see what happens, because I guarantee you it will be different to what is now, and that is your constant prayer. That things will change, and things will change, dear one, because when you take the lid off, it's an act of great courage, and that courage will be rewarded duly. Be the warrior now, sister. Be unafraid to create change, because that is your constant prayer, but you keep putting the lid back on when the change rises up, and we love you dearly, and so it is. Okay, Tosca. Oh, dear sister, there is energy dancing around you. There is movement and light in your being. You are like quicksilver. You are pure bliss, pure joy. And yet, you have still shied away from the depths of your being because your fear is you will lose this energy. I literally can't keep my body still now. It's like this energy is just rippling through me. This is your true nature. And whatever is at the depth, the shadows, the deeper part of yourself that you've been hiding from will not be lost. This will only become more glorious when you're willing to go down into the depths and to meet that thing that scares you most and all those things. And you may not know what they are and they may not have any relationship to the events of this lifetime, but you feel that there is this energy there and you want only this. But this rises from the anchoring into the descending into the self. And when you permit yourself to be the full expression of what you are, that is when you are embodying God. And so it is. Okay. Talia. All right, my darling, I'm going to do one for you, and then I am going to walk my dog. Oh, I'm going to reveal my tattoo, and then I'm going to walk my dog. Dear Talia. Okay, everything is pointing you in the direction of stepping into your power, your priestess, your mystic, your leader. Everything is pointing you in that direction. But there is just this terror in you, my sister, sitting in your solar plexus, in your power center, that somehow this will rip you apart, that you cannot contain it all. So even though all the signs, and you keep asking for the signs and they keep coming, even the signs that seem to point you in the opposite direction are actually pointing you in the direction of what you are yearning for so deeply, which is admit what you are, sister. You are mystic, you are ancient, you are the priestess, and you have lived lifetimes, yes, where you have been literally torn apart limb by limb for what you are, but who cares, because now is not that time. Now you are free, blessedly free. You are so free, sister. So go and pursue who you are now, and please make no more excuses, no more apologies, no more keeping polite and quiet and letting other people's lives be greater than your own. Put your priority as yourself front and center. Prioritize yourself. Put yourself at the center of your being. Be what you are. Immerse yourself in what you are. Learn more about what you are. Train what you are, and let that energy go forward into the world to create the new paradigm, because no more of this asking for one thing in one direction and pulling back in the other. There will be no incongruence tolerated here today, and you are so ready. Okay, you asked for it, my darling. I hope you loved it. Thank you, thank you, thank you to those who you nominated yourselves, those who are here live listening. Even if you didn't put your name down, I know you heard what you needed to hear. And thank you to the great Mother Kali Ma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We bow in reverence to your power and gracing us with your energy today. We honor you. We will not be afraid. We will not be afraid. We will go forward in your name, unafraid. We do not invoke your name lightly, and we do not speak with you and as you lightly. We honor you with great reverence. And we recognize that when you speak, we will take action. For to ignore you is to invite destruction and chaos into our lives, because that is another way that your medicine works in the world. But we accept your words today as the great Mother Kali Ma, the blessings of Kali Ma, the ultimate force of love. And so it is. Okay, who wants to see my new ink? And I'll quickly explain this. So I have been wanting to get a tattoo, and the tattoo I was going to get was this one, and I love this, and this will be coming on my body. But a few days ago I met up with my dear friend Vanessa Meridian, amazing sexologist and yoga teacher, and she had this tattoo on her, and I was like, oh, I need that. But I didn't want her exact tattoo, of course. I just wanted the essence of it. And this tattoo was created by a woman called Tessa Clare, who works at Third Eye Tattoo if you're in Melbourne. And I only get inked by women, and that is part of my devotion to working with the divine feminine, and she is gorgeous, and she free draws a design onto you. So you don't go in and say, I want this. I told her what I wanted because this is what was on Vanessa, but she free draws her design onto my body and then she inks it. And so I will share a picture as well, because it's a little bit awkward position to share it with you, but the image I'm going to share with you, also I realized as I came out of the tattoo parlor, the pub next to the tattoo place was called the Empress. And in the work of Shannon Bush, she speaks about a shapeshifter archetype. And she speaks about the shapeshifter archetype in her light form as the mystical queen, which is lovely. But the queen also exists as an archetype in her way of working with archetypes. And I have 2 archetypal queens in my institute as my lead mentors, Amy Tal of Temple of She and Gemma Dare, the Potentialist. And I don't want to be known as the mystical queen when I've got these 2 incredible powerhouse queens already. But the word Empress just dropped into my consciousness. And recently, or earlier last year, Gemma created the High Priestess for me, and I had her inked on my body. Gemma Dare, must get a sacred marking on your body. And I realized that I wanted my version of the queen, the mystical queen, the Empress. And I didn't realize until after it had happened, that's what I did today. And that's why it was a holy hell yes. And that's why I love this tattoo so much. So let me reveal it to you. It's around here, and it's a little, wrong side, a little awkward to share. There she is. I'll share a picture of her on the vertical so you can see her, but that is, oh gosh, I'm not good with cameras either. That is my Empress tattoo, and I'm also the snake in Chinese astrology, but also the symbol of spiritual energy, the Kundalini rising, and she's got the diamond at her third eye. Okay, I'm off to walk my dog. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is so glorious to spend time with you. Where have you gone? And I want you all to know, of course, that the third level interviews are open. Please, please, please book your interview. They are running out fast. I'm off to Bali in a few short weeks, and I want to get these interviews done. This is the program to connect you to all of the energy that we have cultivated here together today. The priestess, the mystic, the leader qualify as a globally recognized intuitive guide. I'll share the link for you to book your interview. Don't hesitate. Now is the time. We are in the age of the priestess, the sacred leader, and the mystic, and the energy is in the world now. Don't be someone who said, oh, I used to do that once, when we're all doing it. Be the leader of the new paradigm. Mwah.